All right, we are now going to return into open session. The fourth item on our list, well, first just kind of summarize that we have completed our finalist interviews, and we are entering into the reference check phase. Each board member has been assigned a reference to check, and we are going to make those calls hopefully before the close of business on Thursday. And at that point, if all the reference checks pan out, we would work on the next step. So agenda item number 4 is to set salary parameters for negotiations with the interim superintendent candidate. We have received a salary comparison from Krista at COSA, and we have access to that, but we do need to set the range for our negotiators in this public meeting. So I'm going to open it up for discussion, and we can either discuss first and then make a motion, or motion it first and then discuss, however we want to do it.
Well, Madam Chair, if it's okay with you, I would like to make a motion and then we can discuss. So based on what I've seen in the salary comparisons, I would move that we set a salary parameter range of $164,000 to $174,000.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we set a salary parameter range between $164,000 and $174,000.
Yeah, just for reference for our public out there, the data that we received comparing several like-sized districts, just for record, the lowest comparison being $145,000, the highest being $215,000, with the average of the comparisons being right at $169,000. So I believe that $164,000 to $174,000 range is more than adequate based on the data we've received for like-sized districts.
Agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's also, again, probably for the public, it's also in line with what we have been paying our past superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
All right, those are all solid reasons. Any other last discussion? All right, I think we're ready to vote.
Tom,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Owen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
all in favor.
All right, we're going to move then to item 5, which is to designate a board member or more than one board member to enter into negotiations on behalf of the board. So for this, I'm hoping that we have folks who can want to express interest in that job.
Yeah, I'll volunteer for that.
Thank you, Phil.
I will as well.
All right, thank you, Derek. I think it's great to have 2 people. Is there any other discussion around
Well,
that?
just a clarifying question. I imagine we're working with legal as well on our side.
We will, and we will want to make sure that Phil and Derek have access to our WESD, free WESD attorney, and we need to make sure that we talk to Joe about that.
Yeah, and they'll also be able to work with our representatives from COSA as well to assist in that
Yes.
process.
Right.
That's right. Thank you, Owen. Very important.
Also, all of those at no cost.
Yes, all of those are no-cost options.
They've been awesome.
They have. We're really appreciative. Any last before I call for a motion? All right, somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to designate Derek Foxworth and Phil Wiesner to enter in negotiations on behalf of the board for our interim superintendent spot.
Second?
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to designate Derek Foxworth and Phil Wiesner to enter into negotiations on behalf of the board with the interim superintendent candidate. Any last discussion? Okay, I think we're ready to vote.
Tom,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Owen,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
all in favor.
All right. Number 6 is a declaration of a budget committee vacancy. We have one budget committee member who was unable to serve because they can't make the meeting date, the second meeting date that we have. And so we're going to open the budget committee application process up. Right now, what we have on the paperwork is that June 5th would be the deadline for submitting that paperwork. June 10th is the meeting where we would likely appoint. The 5th was chosen because we don't have we were going to have a pre-meeting. Joe's talking about a pre-meeting where budget committee members can get a lot of their questions answered before we go into the official first meeting. And if it is on the 5th, then, potentially the person could make that meeting. But that's not a sure thing. That's just, wishful thinking, hopeful thinking. The other thing is that if we have a lack of applicants, we could do some more pushing out of the message, promoting of the message. We'd have a couple more days to deal with that. But we can change it if we want to. That's just the date that is on the paperwork currently. Any thoughts about that?
Oh, I
Yes.
have just a clarifying question. By
Yes.
law, do we have to have a certain amount of members on that committee?
I don't actually, we have policy. We have policy that
We should-
requires 7 and 7, I think.
Okay.
But
So the
there's
question.
always been
yeah.
people who have been absent.
Okay. I just, I did want to make sure we follow the policy, but if for some reason, if we have to amend the policy, it's an option available to us, right?
I think we would have to seek advice about that. I mean, because I don't think we would change the policy. We would just acknowledge that we're not meeting the policy, but we'd want to get,
So worst case scenario, let's just play it, say nobody signs up, then what do we do? And we're talking about next Wednesday is the 5th. Graduation's on the 6th.
yep,
And then a week after that, we have our budget committee meetings.
yep.
So,
We might most likely would have to forge ahead with 13 members if we don't have any applicants. I think pragmatically, I don't see any way forward unless there's something I'm missing here.
No, we open it up and have the opening exist, and hopefully someone will step forward, and then we can appoint them. But if it's vacant, it's vacant.
okay.
And we can get
But it
updates.
can't be from us not trying to fill it.
Yes, correct,
Yes.
correct, yeah.
And
I'm sure we can get somebody.
Yeah.
yeah, we can have updates too. Debbie can tell us if we have applications or not, and she can give us that information, and then we might need to shake the tree a little bit.
Could we pull old applications too, if possible? Just to speed it up?
I think that could be a potential. I think so far when I've been on the board that we've never had to do that.
Okay.
We've never had to
No, I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody will step forward.
agree.
Jennifer, will you remind us what the dates of the budget committee meetings are?
12th and 13th?
Correct.
And the hearing is on the
26th.
Thank you.
So Wednesday, Thursday,
and Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's tight.
So there's some urgency to move quickly, obviously.
That's
Correct,
right. That's why
yeah.
we're doing this right now, and yes.
especially if we're gonna give those guys some stuff to read, as
Yeah.
soon as we can, like
Yes.
you just mentioned.
At the
Yeah.
potential pre-meeting that
Yeah.
Joe has talked about. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then, the application will be open starting tomorrow, close on the 5th, and then those applications go to Dr. Morlock, or they go to?
Debbie.
Debbie, okay. And then, what's the selection process for that look like?
So at the meeting
Meeting.
on June 10th, we would appoint
Okay.
somebody. And the application says that we may interview people, and we have interviewed people in the past. We also have not interviewed people in the past. It depends. The person may not be available to be interviewed on the 10th, and I would hate to hold that against them because this is such a short turnaround. So we can kind of make that decision as we go, whether we want to interview or not. So yeah, I'm assuming that we might not have time to do that, but it's still open, and we can continue to think about that.
Jennifer, maybe I missed it. How much time is remaining on this term?
This term, there's one. I thought we.
So it would just be for this set of budget meetings and that's it?
Yes.
So that's the commitment? Okay.
Tom, that's a very important
Oh, right.
piece, and I'm
Me
glad you
too.
brought it up. It is that is listed on the paperwork.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked at the paperwork. Debbie sent it to me this weekend.
So they would not be like a new 4-year or 2-year term
No.
or whatever.
You're
It'd
just
just be for a
finishing
You just gotta
month.
fill out the remaining
Yeah.
terms.
Yes.
The vacancy would then come up again next year.
Yep.
Yes, the vacancy would come up again next year.
Yeah.
With the normal timeframe. not
Yep.
Yeah.
Shortened timeframe.
Yes. Exactly. Any other questions? All right. We encourage interested citizens to apply. It's an important job, so please see Board Book for the application. And I don't think we need to take any action on that. We're just declaring that it's vacant. It's a fact. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. Without objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.